I'm your number one fan. There's nothing to worry about. You're going to be just fine. I will take good care of you. I'm your number one fan.
That's right. We watched Misery this week on The Movie Gap, the podcast that has you scream. How have you not seen that? How have you not seen that? How have you not seen that? How have you not seen that?
How have you not seen that? How have you not seen that? How have you not seen that? Little darling, how have you not seen this?
Welcome to The Movie Gap. I am your host, Chase Austin. And as always, the fat little pig I have named after my favorite literary character, Bryce Perkins.
Hello. I'm playing myself today.
Yeah.
Like the pig.
Yeah.
Misery.
That's
Played herself.
that's one of my favorite things in IMDb. It always has like a little, one of the sections on IMDb is
The crazy
weird
credits.
crazy credits. And
that's
it's
the only
Misery
one.
as herself.
Yeah. I noticed that in the credit scroll. It was one of my notes.
Yeah.
So we can knock that off of my notes. Got one
time.
note down.
I should have known not to talk about any credits because that's a good 2/3 of your notes usually.
Probably.
Yeah. What is it? Like after the credits, you kind of lose interest.
Yeah. After I see who's in it, I'm like, I think I get it.
I get this movie.
I just do a skim.
Yeah, because we all know that you are so good with actors' names in general.
I mean, I just need to see them the once, and I remember them forever in the old noggy nog.
All right. Well, a little far away it feels. Screw it. So,
Social SODIS.
yeah. So, anyway, before we get talking about this film today, Bryce, how have you been? How's your week? Well, it's been a little short for us.
My week, it's been good.
Yeah, you're bumping the table.
A little uneventful, but I will say, watched Misery last night, and then proceeded to have one of the worst nightmares I've had in a long time.
Really? Is this for real?
This is for real.
You're not doing a bit.
I'm not doing a bit.
Okay, I want to hear about this.
This is for real. And I can't really say that I can't really like credit Misery for it, because I wasn't particularly, I mean, it's a very creepy movie and everything.
Yeah.
Obviously Stephen King and Kathy Bates does great. But I really just like enjoyed the experience of watching it more than being, scared or whatever. But, and then I went to bed, was fine, woke up after a couple hours and then went back to sleep. And that's when the nightmare started. That's when it all began. So I don't know if the timing was just coincidental or something, or maybe
so this wasn't
Stephen King had seeped into my subconscious.
So this wasn't a Misery nightmare.
It wasn't, but it was, funnily enough, it was King-esque. I mean, it was like Stephen King wrote my nightmare or something.
You're gonna let us know what the nightmare was?
So it was okay, so it started off like I was in my house and I thought I was awake because everything was exactly the same as like my house, except for like the door was a little different. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's not enough for you to like think that you're sleeping. I felt like I was awake. So, like when that happens, it's always gonna be something like there's never a dream that ends up good where you feel like you're awake the whole time, unless you can lucid dream. I can't really do that. So I'm thinking I'm awake or whatever, and I'm chilling out on my porch, as I normally would do, and then this like family comes up and starts like kind of getting like all up in my personal space, but they're like real friendly or whatever, but they were still acting weird, like they were acting like like a non-human wearing a human suit trying to act like a human or something.
Yeah, where you're like, this is what somebody that didn't know what a human would think humans did if they like watched us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was really like that, and they were like all getting way too close to me, like my personal space, and I was like, okay, yeah, nice to meet you guys, but
to like
get out of here.
Just to throw it back to the last episode, they would be the kind of people who would walk up and say, "So you're dying, right?"
Yeah, exactly that kind of thing. Yeah. They were. It was a clan of Chase Hodgsons, real Chase Hodgsons, I would say.
Austins.
Oh yeah, my bad. Who's Hodgson? That's not even a real name. So I was like, okay, well, it was nice to meet y'all, but you overstayed your welcome, so get out of here. And then they left, but then one of their kids, there was a couple kids with them, had left their toy, so they came back to get the toy, and then they didn't want to leave again, so I went back inside my house, or I started to go back inside my house, and like, all of a sudden, one of the kids who turned out to be a baby was trying to like crawl in with me into the house, and
like a stray cat would.
Yeah, and the family didn't do anything to come and grab it, so I was like,
were they aware it was?
They were watching the whole thing, and so this is where I started to realize these guys are as creepy as I thought they were when they were acting like humans.
What was the toy, by the way? Do you?
It was like a piece of a doll. It was like a doll leg.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's that. And so they weren't doing anything to grab the baby, and I looked down at the baby, and it turns out now the baby has a like misshapen head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not in like a goofy way. It was like I was looking at a baby with a deformity. It was disgusting. I mean, it was like
it was disturbing.
Yeah. Like I was just like I felt like creeped out, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like trying
unnatural.
Trying to zombie crawl in, and so I gave it like a nudge. I was like, no, baby, go. I did that. I pushed it out.
You're pushing the baby. No, baby, no.
Yeah, just no, like it's a dog or like no, or a cat that's trying to get in your face. Just like no. So I do that, and I look up, and the family's all staring at me, and they are not happy with what I just did to their baby. But they were all staring at me, right? So it was like, it began to feel like, oh, these aren't like separate people at all. This is like one entity.
Like they have to say, like a hive mind kind of thing. Yeah,
that is acting like, sort of like an it type thing. It was like it was this entity that had appeared to me in this, and so they get very angry. So I start to shut my door, and then they don't want me to shut my door. And my door, like I said, was
so like they've all come up onto your porch with you now?
Two of the big ones came up and tried to keep me from shutting my door, and they were trying to get in my house. And so I was like, hell no. And so I wrestled them off. Long story short, my door was weird, so I had to like pull it more just to get it to latch more than I normally would.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, why is my door doing this right now? And
I like how in your dream you are very level-headed.
Yeah.
During all this terrifying stuff.
Right.
Like, man, the door is weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, of all the times.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Isn't that always the case?
Very much so. And then so I finally get the door shut, and they like kind of stare me down through like a hole. I see their eyes. There's two of them. I see each one of their eyes individually. One of them stares me down and then leaves. The other one stares me down and then leaves. And I was like, ugh, I'm glad they're gone. Creepy. And then I went to go tell Ash about it, because again, I thought I was awake, and so I'm like, babe, this is like this weird fucking family I just met. And then a dude, one of the dudes comes back. I'm guessing it's like the father or the uncle or whatever of the baby is what it seemed like. And I went out there to fight him. Because I was like,
so he came back outside. He wasn't.
Yeah,
in your house.
No. But they were trying to get in, so I went out to fight him. And you know how like sometimes when you're fighting in your dream, it's like it feels like you're moving through water or something. And you're like, this is weird. So I ended up just like pinning him down, and was like, like the anger I had at at this like entity that was trying to enter my house.
Yeah.
And so I went back inside once that was handled, and was like, oh my God. And then the fucking door started like caving in, like someone was pounding on it in this weird way. And this is when it got really kingy, and it felt like it really started to feel like it, because I was like, what the fuck is that? And I'm in the middle of talking to Ash, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm looking at my door. It's my house. I think I'm awake.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, I'm really thinking something is just about to blast my door down. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I open the door, and it's just this like woman that wasn't there before, it just like appeared as this like normal woman, but I was like, I don't trust you. So I grabbed something and just started fucking whacking it and pushed it out and shut the door again and went back to Ash. And as soon as I got back to the room to talk to Ash, the fucking door flies open. And I was like, at that point, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm audibly like yelling in my dream, like, what the fuck? And it was the fucking twin girls from The Shining.
Okay.
But they were like more demon-esque. It was like it couldn't hide its form anymore because it was ready to go. It was ready to attack. And they just started like, they like split and like charged at me like they were going to come get me from either side.
Like going around your kitchen or whatever.
And that's when I woke up.
Wow.
And I woke up, my heart was pounding, and I was like, I thought I was going to die.
That's intense.
I woke up and my heart was like, goo, goo, goo. And like I woke up and it was like the first minute that I was awake, I wasn't sure if I was actually awake or not because I felt like I was awake in my dream already.
Wow.
So I was just sitting there like, before I even moved, you know, it was fucked up, man.
Man, I didn't have a weird dream last night, but like I was real tired and I went to bed like it was about midnight and I was like just trying to fall asleep. I was so tired.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fall asleep. My brain would not let me fall asleep. And for like a good hour and a half, because we always put on Netflix, we put on Grey's to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And so it'll play like 3
show
episodes.
about the aliens.
Yeah. It'll play like 3 episodes, so they're like 45 minutes. So it's about an hour and a half or 2 hours or something before it shuts itself off. And the whole time Grey's was on, my brain kept making me think about Light in Winter that we did back in senior year of high school. Just like
the anxiety brain or
what
whatever.
went wrong? Like what could I have changed? Like that's all it was. It's just like this one thing that like at this point in my life makes no difference what happened.
Right.
And that is just like why what maybe we should have fought that thing, or what should I have said to the bitch or whatever? Like how
could I have portrayed the motivation behind this line more?
Just like what? Maybe if I'd done this differently, it's like what are you talking about?
Right.
This is, and then I kept like trying to tell myself stop, and I had to test this morning in one of my classes, and I was like, well, if you're gonna stress about something, stress about that test. And then I was like, nah, I got it. So like it wouldn't stress. Like I couldn't make myself think about the test or anything. I was like, I got that.
Thought about the test.
No,
it fell right to sleep.
20 or 15 years ago, a play
that
I did 15 years ago. That's what is stuck in my head.
It's crazy too that you're still like, you know, that you still have anxiety about that because we all know what would have made it advance. You know, different casting King Henry.
Yeah. No, I definitely have dreams about that play. Still to this day, I'm powering through.
Yeah, you did graciously.
I often like have, or like just like last night, where there's anxiety, like not even dreams, just like my brain's like, remember when this happened?
Yeah.
Remember this play, and like you just can't get it out of your goddamn head.
I hate that.
Yeah, but no, I've had a lot of those weird dreams, though, like you're talking about, where it's like you're in your house,
right?
And it's not like, you know, sometimes you have those dreams where you're like, well, I was in my house, but it wasn't my house,
right?
But I knew it was my house.
Right. No, it was like I am in my house.
Yeah,
it's just
and
the door is acting weird.
I have them in this house a lot too.
Yeah.
About this one, but sometimes in those dreams it's this house, but my grandparents are still living here too because this is their old house. Ooh. So it's like why? And I'm in their. Yeah, like I'm sleeping in the master bedroom.
Right.
But, and like they're fine with it. Like they don't sleep.
Right.
They're just like hanging out in the living room or something. It's very weird. But yeah, I'll have all sorts of, like, just like your fighting thing. Like I have that thing where it's a lot of the fighting and I'm yelling.
Yeah.
And when I'm yelling,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's usually when Carrie's like, "What were you screaming about? You were just moaning last night." I was like, that's probably. At one point, I was fighting something in a dream. It's always ghosts or something.
Right.
And at one point, I knew that I had to say "Avengers Assemble" to scare the ghosts away. And I woke myself up going, oh, whoa, what was that? That was a pop. But anyway.
So powerful, you fucking cut the sound out there for a second.
Is everything all right there?
Yeah.
No wonder it can stop a ghost.
We're rolling. Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway. That sounds like a crazy dream.
That's fine. It was, and like I said, I hadn't had like a straight up nightmare like that
baby
in a
thing.
long time. Yeah, dude, and that was like, and like it seems like I'm being like callous or insensitive or something, but it was like just one of the creepiest realizations
That the baby was
it was like a
normal.
it looked like a realistic, it looked like its head was just fucked up
Yeah.
from birth or something.
That's
and
so weird.
and it was like crawling and then they
just
weren't
like go away.
yeah, I was
baby,
just like,
stop.
no, please. And then I looked up and they're not even trying to get their baby, and I was like, okay. And they're like staring at me mad, and I'm like, what are you mad at me for? Get your fucking baby out of here. Anyway.
Yeah,
It was creepy, man. I hadn't had a nightmare like that in a long time.
Well, it's probably because it is
Spooktober, dude.
Spooktober.
I'm telling you, I cannot escape it. This entire month, I'm pooping and peeing my pants all day.
Yeah.
Oh, but then I whacked off and I fell right back to sleep, and it was all good.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So no spoopy babies in your future.
I guess I have I get down to being scared excites me or something.
Yeah.
This must be it. Yeah. No spoopy babies in my future, though. If I get scared and excited, then me and Ash do it, I will be keeping my pull-out game strong. So, to avoid any of that.
I was just making the joke that you jacked off. So, you can't have a baby if you're jacking off instead of having
Yeah,
sex.
that's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Not from that one, anyway.
Nope. Teach that spooky baby. Flush him down.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Take that spooky baby.
Yeah, get out of here.
All right. Well, let's
Right
get
to the
into
sheets.
Let's get into this film. Like you said, kind of nothing to do with that. But
No, but it was interesting that it was like it really felt King-esque,
Yeah,
especially the
there's a lot of-
the twin girls at the end that and yeah, the entity that was attacking me felt like it was like I understood the monster in it a lot more.
Okay, yeah.
But
right.
so maybe it was watching the King movie.
It just
Played
got
with my
those juices
subconscious.
flowing, yeah.
So
this movie, Misery, you had never seen it before.
that is correct.
All right. So why, as a Stephen King fan, do you think you'd never seen this one? Is this one that you like having seen it now? Are you like, I don't know why I didn't see it, or is it just that you just didn't like movies? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think it fell through the gap because it came out at a time.
came out in 1990. So
So I was 2 years old
yeah.
when it happened. When
you
it
were a
came
spooky
out.
little baby
I
yourself.
was a spooky little baby with a giant head, and yeah, I guess just I don't know. It just this one just kind of fell through the cracks. I never really like got into King movies until I was older anyway. So
okay.
that kind of thing wasn't something that I like sought out even when I was a teenager or whatever.
Well, and I guess another thing is that you really like The Shining, and this is not that kind of King. This is realism, I guess you would call it. It's not supernatural.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But I will say that it's one that I've always kind of like fringe heard of.
So yeah, what did you know about it going in?
So I knew that it was. So I didn't know the name of it, but I always thought of it in my head as the one where Kathy Bates beats the shit out of the dude's legs. That's what I knew.
Think when we were trying to come up with what movie to do this week, you said, hold on, let's do that one where Kathy Bates breaks the dude's legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, Misery? You're like, sure.
Right. And so here's the thing. I thought this movie was called Deliverance.
That is not this movie.
Right.
Not at all.
So I always got those titles mixed up.
Misery, Deliverance. Okay.
She does. Well, because I thought the reason. Okay, because I haven't seen Deliverance either. I really don't know anything about that movie.
It's on the list. Yeah.
But I do know that Deliverance is about backwoods shit.
Yeah.
And fucked up Appalachian motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So I was thinking from the scenes I saw, she has him in isolation. I was thinking in the Appalachians. I didn't realize Colorado. Yeah. And I'm thinking Deliverance. I thought it was going to be banjos playing while she was bashing his legs up.
Yeah.
Pleasant surprise, it was Moonlight Sonata, which was like an excellent choice for creepiness. But yeah, so I always got those ideas mixed up. So I guess we'll have to complete it some point and watch Deliverance so that I can have the full picture of the two, the differences of the two.
And I'm sure that story will come up again.
I will repeat it word for word exactly.
All right. Well, so you knew
that is my movie.
You knew sort of the I mean, that's what people know about this movie.
Right.
You know, when you haven't seen it. Oh, that's the one where they break their legs. And yeah, that's a huge part of this movie.
Yeah.
And it's a very disturbing part. But like, that's not really the whole movie.
It's not. And I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised to see that it was really just a part, just one part of it. But I guess it ended up being the part that stood out the most.
Yeah, for sure.
It was definitely the most gruesome part.
The special effects, by the way, our friends at, or the movie gap friends at K&B, to tie it back to the first movie we did. It's the same people who did, the first movie's of October.
Oh, Spooktober.
Yeah, so From Dusk Till Dawn, same guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nicotero, Kurtzman, and Berger. Those are the K and B
I
and
see.
K and B.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that shit is hard to watch.
Dude, I mean, when you see that, okay, well, I was surprised to see, and we can start to get into it a little bit here. I was surprised to see that his legs were already fucked up from the crash.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, well, let's go through your notes before we jump right to that.
All right. Well,
So yeah, you knew going in his legs are going to get fucked up. You didn't know it started with a car crash.
Right. Right.
I guess you probably didn't even know why he was caught. Like, you didn't know anything.
No, I just
didn't know anything about a writer. You didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
No, I just knew it was a dude that was being held captive by someone with mental problems.
Yeah.
And that, at some point. But see, I didn't even know what she really did. All I saw was the footage of her picking up the hammer and being creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that she was breaking his ankles. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. And then you see the one.
Now, do you watch Castle Rock? Or did you? I don't know if it's coming back, but
no.
That's that Stephen King Hulu show.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The one that Rob Reiner named his.
Well, that's the name
of the production company.
Yeah. The show is also called Castle Rock.
Okay.
It was like, I know there's 2 seasons, and I think the last one came out like in January or something.
Yeah.
It might have been a year ago. It might have been more than January.
Yeah.
But and like the second season follows the Annie Wilcox character. It's like a prequel reimagining of her character, the Kathy Bates character.
Oh, okay. Right.
And so yeah, I didn't know if you had seen that or not.
No,
because then that would teach you a little bit about her. But yeah, so anyway,
all I know about her is what we find out in the movie about how she killed babies and shit.
Let's get into it.
Well, we're
bursting out of the seams here.
You know my love of credits.
I do know.
So we'll go ahead and just throw these out here. Didn't realize it was directed by Rob Reiner.
Yep. His second King movie.
This was after Stand By Me.
Yes.
Oh, and I forgot that he did Stand By Me, so that makes even more sense. So that was a pleasant surprise, and he does great. Did not know that the Con Man was in it.
Yeah,
James Caan, the Con Man himself.
This was his comeback. Really.
Second movie ever.
No,
okay,
but this was his comeback. He had fallen off in the 80s, in like after
Godfather. Right?
Godfather, yeah. He he wasn't really a leading man. He had some, substance issues, and he's just kind of an asshole and stopped getting work. And then this finally came along, and he got it mainly because nobody wanted it. Like, they offered this role to everyone. And I think the furthest along they really got was Warren Beatty. And then finally,
that would have been interesting.
Yeah, he finally said no.
Well, he was doing Dick Tracy at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he finally said no to that, and no to this, and then it went to him. But one of the reasons that nobody wanted to do this is like the main character, the part that he would be playing, is stuck in a bed the whole time, and nobody wanted to fucking do that.
I was say that seems like, talk about misery.
But he definitely wanted to do this movie because he turned down a role that we recently talked about, which was like right towards the beginning of him not being a leading man anymore. He turned down the role of McMurphy in Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so and Jack Nicholson
he was mad about that one, huh?
Yeah, so Jack Nicholson was approached for this role, and when he eventually passed, Caan was like, well, I got to do it.
Yeah, right.
If they thought he could do it.
Circle, yeah.
So, But yeah, so
Yikes.
yeah, this was a huge comeback for Jimmy Caan.
Okay. I mean, what did he do after this movie? I don't know how much of a comeback it was, really.
Elf.
I mean, he did do Elf.
15 years later.
15 years later. Yeah.
No, he's done, he's done other movies.
Right. But it was a return to...
Yeah.
It was this John Travolta moment.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's what I would what I would equate it
his
to.
His Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, how do you think he does in this movie?
He does fantastic. I think
he does great.
Yeah, it's such an under...
And if you disagree with me, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's such a, because he's just this, like, dude, like this real guy,
Right.
Real quiet, not a super talkative guy. He's a writer. He's introspective. And, like, he just is so good at it's all reactions.
Yes.
And, like, mumbling, the way he can mumble to himself, it just works. It's more than just saying what he's saying, And
he does a lot of a big part of acting is you got to act with your eyes.
Yeah, and being able to like swallow his hatred sometimes to her and stuff. Like it's just there's so much that you could see the gears in his head turning when he's talking to her.
Did he get nominated for anything?
I don't think so.
Those sons of bitches at the fucking at the Academy, they don't fucking know what they're talking about. Okay.
It won. It was only nominated for Best Actress, and it won that.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Also won the Golden Globe for the same thing. Also, the only thing it was nominated for. So.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's well deserved on her part.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we will talk a lot about her. But yeah, this was like, this has got to be one of the few movies I've seen starring James Caan. Actually, I probably have seen the big three of his career. I've seen Godfather, I've seen Elf, and I've seen this now.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But yeah, he does do great. I thought it was weird. The way the character dealt with her, even after finding out that she was crazy and he was in trouble, was like, totally went against my instinct, and I thought it was really weird at first how like coy he was playing it.
Yeah.
But then by the end of it, you're like, oh man, this guy's really doing the long play here. Like he's smart enough to realize that that's really at the end of the day his only option.
Yeah.
So
and I think a lot of that
to see that play out.
What I get from that too is, and there's a little bit more in the books on it, but this is a writer of a very successful franchise, so he's dealt with like crazy fans before, and like so you gotta play.
Yeah, you're right.
And like even the character of Annie, her not the specific character, but like her little traits and her weirdness and her obsession are written as an amalgam of like all of Stephen King's weirder fans.
Right.
Right. In fact, he wrote this book because he'd gotten so pigeonholed into horror that he was writing books under a pseudonym, Richard Bachman, which is I think his real name. And
so Stephen King is the pseudonym.
Yeah, really, I think that is funny to think. But and then this was actually going to come out under Richard Bachman, but by the time it was being released, people found out that was him.
Oh,
so like he said that Richard Bachman.
Like,
he announced that he had died from cancer of the pseudonym. But
that's clever.
Yeah, but he she is just an amalgam of all of his like scariest and weirdest fans,
Gotcha.
And
man, this movie has to, or this book has to have been one of the scariest personally that he's ever written, like to him personally that he's ever written.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit more.
I mean, talk about a real life nightmare, Like, I could see this being his literal worst nightmare, is being captured and abducted by some of these creepy people that he meets,
And I know that he wrote a lot of, like, science fiction stuff, and, like, I don't know if he had written Dark Tower yet, like that stuff, but, like, he was starting to get into that kind of stuff, and fans were like, fuck you, I want horror.
Right,
and so he felt trapped, so that's the Jimmy Caan, what's his name in the movie?
Stephen...
Paul Sheldon. Yeah.
I was very close. Wouldn't it be hilarious if his name was Steven Sheldon? Or Young Sheldon? That'd be even funnier if his name was Young Sheldon.
Would that be funnier?
Could be a spin-off television series on CBS.
Well, Sheldon's mother in Big Bang Theory is played by Laurie Metcalf,
who
played Annie Wilkes on Broadway opposite not Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis as Paul Sheldon.
Okay. And Bruce Willis was in The Sixth Sense, which also is a scary movie. There's the connection to Misery. They're connected through this the genre.
The play she was in was this movie.
Yeah, but that's not close enough. You see, I need something. Her
daughter plays.
I need something more.
Her daughter plays her.
Chase.
Her daughter plays the character in Young Sheldon's mom.
Whose daughter?
Laurie Metcalf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In real life?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Because she played it in the other show, so her younger would be played by her daughter.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the case.
I'm not following what you're saying anymore.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I lost it.
Yeah. So, wait, where were we?
Oh, his name was Paul Sheldon.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, so
His
Paul
name
Sheldon.
was Paul
Sheldon's written all these. Yeah, so the frustration of Misery and writing all these Misery books, and that's all that his fans want.
Right.
Is what Stephen King was experiencing.
Yeah.
So that's why he wrote that.
Did Stephen King express what he felt about this movie?
Yeah, he loved this movie.
Loved it.
Yeah.
What was his favorite movie adaptation though? Was it Stand By Me?
It's. You look up any of them, and
he's changing his mind every 2 days.
It's any one all of them that are good. Whenever he sees it, seems like Stand By Me, not The Shining. I know that.
Right. He
hates The Shining.
Famously hated The Shining because it wasn't his book at all. It's it's basically a different story.
But and I don't know. I haven't looked at Green Mile, but it probably at one point was
there's a connection there. Fucking Jack Nicholson played a main character of a Stephen King novel. In The Shining, and then James Caan followed it 10 years later. Ended up getting his kind of revenge on Jack there as well. You know, I can't believe he turned down McMurphy. But do you think the movie would have been as good with the Caan?
It would have been different. It definitely would have been different. I don't like. Man, then again, 70s Caan was way more frenetic. So, I keep thinking of him as, an older man, but he was sunny.
Yeah, he was sunny.
He lost his mind all the time.
Right. I mean, he was a mafia guy.
Yeah. So, it would have been a good movie.
Yeah, we'll see. So, Kathy Bates.
This is her first real movie. She was mainly theater
this was her
before
breakout, right?
A lot of TV stuff. But, this is her breakout role.
Yeah. Wow, first movie. One Academy Award. Yeah. She's batting 1,000, baby.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
and I know that's
pretty good right there.
She had a lot of trouble while filming this for several different reasons. I mean, just the character was so intense. She would start to isolate on her own, and Rob Reiner, the actor's director that he is, was when you go home, you need to not be Annie. You just shake it off.
Oh wow, really?
It's I can see
she
it
couldn't separate the character.
Yeah, it was hurting her, and she also she came from theater, so she wants she's very used to a lot of rehearsal, and you work things out. And James Caan is film, and you don't really do as much rehearsal. It's a lot of on the day you figure it out. And you do it.
Right.
So the two of them trying to work together, they would butt heads on that
tension?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he just wanted to do it.
Oh, and she would keep hitting him up and be like, "Let's run through these lines," and he'd be like, "Get out of here, lady."
She's like, I need more practice. I need to rehearse it. I need to know what I'm doing. He's more
and especially since this being her first movie. He was probably like, "All right, get out of here.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm the movie star here, lady. Okay, I'm Jimmy. I'm the con man."
Granted, that's just conjecture. We don't know that for a fact. But and then I know that she also had a real hard time with the violence and the violent scenes that she would break down afterwards because it was rough. Man. And a lot of the women, I forget, I don't have the list in front of me. of some of the other women, but I know one of them was Barbara Streisand that was up for her role.
Ooh,
And she turned it down.
interesting.
She finally turned it down because of the violence. She
The
didn't like
violence,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be playing a character that was playing
Yeah,
a character
also-
like that.
I mean, and like, in the end, Annie Wilkes, I keep saying Wilcox, Annie Wilkes killed a bunch of fucking babies.
Right.
Like this.
It's not.
She was a lunatic.
Yeah. It's not like. Yeah. It's not necessarily like getting to play a superhero in
Yeah,
any sense
no.
of the means.
No.
Tying your name
Or even
to a
like
character
a
like
redeemable person.
that. Right.
I mean, obviously-
like I said to you, I've never wanted a bad guy to die more.
Yeah.
God, while watching a movie.
Oh, she's so crazy. That I'm sure
She does such
we'll
a
work
good
through it
job,
here.
man. She does such a good job of just playing someone that
And
you
it's just like the way
hate.
it flows too. Like
Yeah.
her character, like slowly you see the crack, and man, when she cracks and then fixes herself, it's like very much
Yeah, dude.
an unstable person, which is just like those flips like on a dime kind of shit.
Right.
It's so terrifying.
Perfect example of that one that was like for me one of the creepiest moments of the movie was when she was all proud of herself for getting him all the writing materials
Yeah.
and shit.
And then he says the
then he's
paper.
like, oh, but there's one. But he's only trying to get her out of the house.
Yeah.
But she takes it as this like extreme slight, and you can see her face
changes
as she's saying the lines, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it. Like she holds on to it at first, but as she does this perfect blend of her face getting more dour and angry as the line is getting more dour and angry.
You can feel the heat coming off of her as it's like she starts out like you could just feel that build.
Yeah.
And see it like just the those,
and
what do you call them?
the way she
micro expressions.
Yeah, micro expressions,
Yeah.
sure. And the way that the way that, like you were saying, the way that it just snaps like that from being so happy and proud, and then, and then takes off and then comes back and she's like, oh, I was thinking on the way and I'm okay now and everything's okay.
Yeah.
And, oh, dude, it was just like, oh, gross, man. I mean, there's
gross is a great word.
Toxic people like that out there. Like, that's the most disturbing thing about it is that a person like this is unfortunately not hard to imagine.
No.
There are a lot of people like that out there. And some people have the misfortune of fucking having to deal with them, So, yeah, it's it's creepy in like the realest way, which makes it all the more disturbing when she's fucking hobbling him. Ugh! And you see that when it comes to that head. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. But I like the way that they made the movie seem like it was it got off to such a happy start. You got
finishing that little novel.
Finishing the novel. He's in
got a pep in his
Colorado. He's
step.
doing his thing, and you got the fucking Motown music going, and he's driving in his fucking Mustang. But he should have known better to be driving a rear wheel car in the snow in the mountains. Come on, you're asking for
and in the
you're
book,
asking for
in the
an
book, he was
accident.
drunk.
Oh,
I mean, I guess he was probably
I mean, he
drunk
could
in
have assumed he
this
was,
too because
sure.
he drank that whole bottle of champagne,
right,
and had a cigarette. That makes your blood
You know what
thinner.
that means? Yeah. Yep.
So.
You know what that means? And it also means that he finished his book, as we found out later in the movie. Remember? And that was a great moment, too, because he was like, I just need 3 things. And she was like, what is it?
Yeah.
He was like, don't you know? And then she was like, yes, you need 1 cigarette, 1 bottle of champagne, and 1 glass. And like,
Yeah.
of course, she did know. Ugh.
And it snapped her back.
Oh, man.
Like into that.
Oh. And the way that he called it like that. He was
2
like, "Don't you
glasses this
know?"
time.
Oof. They did a really good job of keeping a consistency in there of the letter N missing from the typewriter.
yeah.
And if you paid attention to what he was typing,
You could see it.
the words were missing the letter N and stuff like that. That was pretty interesting. That was more of like a small observation. How about those? And of course, Stephen King. So, like a commonality in his in a lot of his books, writing in Colorado.
Yep.
He going off of experience there.
And Stephen King, I don't know if it's still the case, but I assume it is. He does write everything on a manuscript, on a typewriter, and then,
Yeah.
puts it into a word processor or whatever.
Sure.
It's very, that's a huge deal for him.
Oh, I could imagine. Yeah. But the fact that it's back in Colorado.
Yeah.
He likes
like
to
a
go
lot of the hotels and
Kingisms.
stuff and do his writing too. Yeah.
A lot of the King.
Yeah, it's just, it's very, there's a lot of, even King said that there's a lot of autobiographical aspects of Sheldon.
Yeah.
Of him in Sheldon.
Right.
You know?
But that being said, the way that it starts off all happy and cheery, a little bit of a notes journey for me.
Okay.
Because he gets in a wreck and man, he's gonna die. But how lucky is he that he gets rescued? And then you find out it's by someone that loves him so much, his number one fan.
Like, you didn't see anything wrong with this?
That's so lucky that he gets his life saved. Mm-hmm. It's like we're about 10 minutes in, and it's all feel good, baby.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing can go wrong, And then you get the moment where she sees that he has finished his new book, and she asks, as his fan, she says, "I was wondering maybe," and then he does the misdirection and acts like he's not going to let her read it, and then he does let her read it. How wholesome is that? He's the number one fan, saves him. She's nursing him back to health, and then he rewards her by letting her read his new book. Completely so heartwarming. It was really what it is. At first, when you're watching it, this was my journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm gonna sit back and just fucking chow down on this popcorn.
This is a regular Nicholas Sparks.
I'm about to watch. I'm basically gonna be watching the Santa Claus. Is how much fun I'm gonna be having.
Yeah.
And then the little pig comes in. Oh, which this, by the way, completes a trilogy of movies where pigs play themselves: Charlotte's Web, Babe, Pig in the City, and Misery. It's the big three.
The big three.
Pig
Not
movie.
To forget, now he didn't play himself, but Arnold the pig in Big Top
Big Top Pee-wee.
I don't know if that pig's name was Arnold.
Yeah, that's true, but I wonder if...
And that pig talked.
I wonder if there's a way, and you know how much I love fan theories, but I'd like for maybe there's someone out there that can connect all the movies and make them canon to one another. The pig related
That's a fan
movies.
theory you could get behind.
I could get behind that. And then you see the reveal of his busted up legs, which, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I didn't realize his legs started off being broken.
Yeah.
And the makeup, they did a really good job with that because his feet are all swollen. And when he tries to
real bad.
roll out of the bed, and you see the busted up fucking feet all up close and everything, and it just was it
all hurts.
It had those, yeah, exactly, and they had the little details in there that kept it relatable.
Yeah,
where you could feel what was happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I had my my note that I thought this movie was called Deliverance. She fucking. This is where I start getting a little creeped out because she starts mentioning that she knows a lot of details. That's okay, lady, it was really nice of you to save me and everything, but please don't be one of those fans. And then she mentions, that's what it was. The first true turning point when
after she reads the book.
Yes,
and she's like, the cussing and everything.
And she wakes him up all pissed off.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. She woke him up when she read the end of the book. That was later.
Yeah.
But she wakes him up all pissed off. No. When did she make him burn it? No, she made him burn it after she found out Misery died.
Yeah, because that book had already come out. So then she makes him burn this new book that has nothing to do with Misery. Yeah, because she goes and gets the new copy of it, and she does not like it.
Oh my god, dude! And the way that it's sitting right there, and then she just starts pouring lighter fluid all over it, and then she could have easily just lit it on fire herself, but she makes him do it.
Yeah.
Oh, and the game she's playing, and then he tries to bluff, and he's like, "Well, I'll go ahead and do it. It wouldn't even matter. I got copies of it." But then she spouts off no, you don't. you're very superstitious about making copies of your books and who can read them. And says, you see it all this on the Merv Griffin show in January 1975.
This is well before DVR.
Right, yeah. And but Merv Griffin show, Seinfeld. It all comes back to Seinfeld.
Always.
So yeah, but then when he realizes that she's not falling for the bluff, or she's calling the bluff, I should say, and then she just starts walking around going, you see, the problem is, and she's squirting the lighter fluid all over him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Fuck that shit. That was so fucked up, man. Like the fucking like mental abuse. And then the threatening of the physical
and
abuse,
it's crazy because like it's James Caan, like he's a big man, and she's like, I mean, she's not like little, but she's not big.
He is hobbled though.
Yeah, he is hobbled.
So
but,
there's not much he can really do.
It's still just, but she's so like, and then the contrast of her character of this sweet, innocent little, woman who won't even curse.
Yeah,
right,
and
then to this. Like psychopath,
that is
total psychopath with
completely
physical and emotional abuse.
Yeah,
like, and so good and capable of it, and knows what she's doing. Like not she like knows how to do the abuse, but not necessarily even coherent of what she is doing.
Yeah,
but I mean, she killed all those babies.
Right. As you find out, I will say there was like an early directorial theme that you picked up on that was a great job by Rob Reiner that made all of these things even more effective. Is the zooming up in on her from underneath in weird angles.
Yeah.
Getting those eyes wide open.
The position of power.
As close as possible. Every time she's delivering one of those like fucked up lines.
Yeah.
That was a super powerful move and a great decision.
Yeah, and
it's something that maybe could have been, I don't know, if it wasn't done tactfully enough, could have probably easily have been like an overused, like it could have gotten old, but it never did.
Yeah, and so
and
Rob
I think
Reiner,
that's because of Kathy Bates.
Yeah, that's part of it. And Rob Reiner, he was real nervous about doing this movie because he'd done like When Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride.
Right. But he was tired of being pigeonholed in his rom-com. Spinal Tap.
He wanted to try it, and but he was like real worried about shooting a thriller because it's something he had never done before, to shoot a thriller, to shoot a horror. So he studied heavily Alfred Hitchcock movies, and was just working on like. He was like, if Hitchcock was directing it, like what makes those movies work? And it's those kind of moments, and knowing when to do them and when not to do them, all that kind of stuff. So you can really tell.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and like apparently James Caan said that like he heard him like arguing with himself sometimes. Like he was really hard on himself, Rob Reiner, and he'd be like, "You're no fucking Hitchcock. You're no fucking Hitchcock. What are you trying to do?"
For
He's
real?
Like, calm down, dude.
Oh,
You're doing
wow.
fine." Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Take it easy, Rob. Shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's
I wonder if like
and like you said, it's more than just watching a guy's movie and then emulating it, because you try that and then you're overdoing it.
Right, yeah.
It's so easy that
you can't do that.
It's that magic line. You have to know what you're doing.
Right,
and he
exactly.
really does.
And then you have to know how to utilize the homage.
Yeah.
And you have and the only way you can do that is by knowing exactly what it is you are doing and exactly what it does and what it's supposed to be used for. And he did. He seemed to have a good grasp of it. I mean, I got no complaints there. I wonder if that was something that Carl used to just tell Rob all the time when he was growing up. Like how how sometimes dads can be unapproving or whatever.
You're no Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, Carl would just be like he'd walk in on Rob watching Psycho or something, and Carl would be like, "What are you watching this for? You never be as good as Alfred Hitchcock, you son of a bitch."
Dad, one day I'm gonna be a director.
Oh, is that right? Is that right, Robbie? Go fuck yourself, kid. You'll never be Hitchcock.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dark.
Probably not. But R.I.P. to both of them. Just Carl. Rob is still alive,
Yeah,
right?
Carl just passed away. Rob
Right.
is still very much alive.
Cool. I love how like we can talk about these people like we know them. Like, is Carl alive, or is it just did Robbie die too?
What a shame.
Yeah,
What a shame.
What a shame. You know, he was a good
Great
guy.
guy.
Good guy. You know, Carl. But anyway, see, we're almost like Misery fans there in that sense.
100%.
Oof. Kind of. We got to watch ourselves,
Or not.
or not, or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll do whatever we want. You know, zoom in on me when I'm doing it.
From way down here.
Oh yeah. I know when you were filming Spinal Tap, you fucking used 72 reels of film. I know that. You know, like something like that. Like knowing everything about Rob
all the
Reiner.
little details.
Yeah.
But
Christopher
not
Christopher
making
Guest
them
didn't
up.
like that one take that you used. Why didn't you use the take that he liked? You know, something like that. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, but Rob did a great job. I do want to make a point about one specific thing, and that is, the old couple. Oh, they were so great, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The sheriff and the wife. Oh, and I'm so mad that she blasted him to heaven, dude. Oh, that pissed me off. I was like, no.
Yeah.
This excuse my language, but this fucking bitch. You know? She made me just want to, oh, she's a bitch.
Yeah, now
I couldn't help it.
That could get us kind of into where the differences in the book and the movie are.
Okay.
Some of the main differences, one main difference is there is a lot of play on the fact that she keeps drugging him. And basically he becomes addicted to, I forget what the pill is called, but it's Vicodin. It's like some
gotcha.
fake brand of Vicodin. It's an opiate.
Yeah.
And so he is like so addicted, and she withholds it, you know, to make him right, and then like gives it to him, and you know he gets to these obsessive writing flurries and everything like that. You know, when he's breaking out to like go look for things like ways to get out, he's also looking for the drugs that she's hiding from him.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, but then there's also the hobbling. The hobbling
more
in
gruesome in the book
is she cuts off his foot with an axe, and
oh man, I think they did it more effective in the movie.
So she cuts off his foot with an axe and cauterizes it with a blowtorch, and Reiner changed that because he's like, you can't.
Ooh, that sounds spicy.
Like that looks and feels too much like he still loses. You know, like once he loses a total foot, even if he's walking with a limp and everything now, you know, but he gets like a prosthetic by the end of the little epilogue and stuff. But also, even after she cuts off his fucking foot and cauterizes it, he at one point, you know, like the N's don't work on the typewriter. Well, then the T's and the E's, which is like the two of the most used letters.
And it spells out E-N-T. Oh wait, that's E-M-T. E-N-T is ear, nose, throat. So that doesn't really help anything.
No.
All right.
But he complains about like not being able to write it anymore because like the typewriter's going so bad, and then she cuts off his thumb with one of those like those electric carving knives.
Yeah.
And the sheriff also dies, but she kills the sheriff with a lawnmower in the book.
Oh wow.
And
oh man.
Yeah, Kathy Bates was like excited. Yeah, she was excited.
Yeah.
She's like, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And they ended up cutting it because they were just afraid it would come off, especially Reiner, and I think a lot of this is because of his own insecurities on horror. He was afraid that it would come off comical, the way that he had to shoot it, because he didn't really know what to do. So he changed it.
That was probably a smart instinct since he is a comedy guy.
Yeah, and the hobbling scene with the like breaking of the ankle instead of cutting off, or both ankles, instead of cutting off the foot, is almost more.
I say it's worse.
Yeah,
I say it's like
you feel it
more effective.
Yeah, you definitely feel that more than getting something cut off, because we've all like sprung something or cracked something.
Right.
Like, you have an idea in your head, something getting cut off. All of a sudden, to me, it feels
like it's gone, and you don't really have to think about it.
Well,
anymore.
and like even then, like I disconnect from that pain because I've never been stabbed by
and I've
more
certainly
than like
never
a
had
needle.
my foot chopped off.
Yeah. Or a finger or something like that. So like you see it, you're like, oh, that's awful, but like you don't know that feeling.
Right.
The way of like, man, if a sprained ankle hurts, that's
is
worse.
hurt.
And like you were saying, even when he was like all beat up from the crashes.
Yeah.
Swollen, gross legs. Yeah.
And you know what that kind of, you've been there if you've broken a bone or sprained something before, you know how that, and then there's something about the discomfort of a part of your body should be put together a certain way, but it's completely broken off, but still on there, and you're and looks fucked up, and you have to look at it all fucked up.
Yeah.
And you're going, that's never gonna get back to normal. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
Like, and then the fact, so it's interesting that you said that King went with the chop the foot off and do the blowtorch. I could totally see why he did that, because he's trying to go ultra hard with it. But it's almost a misstep on his part. It's almost one of those, you go too hard and it's less effective.
Yeah, well, you also have to remember that you're reading it. You're not...
Well, he is very good. I'm sure reading it is probably still completely disturbing.
Yeah, it's not,
but
it's not written
film,
how I just said it.
On film, I really like that they changed that, because on film, the hobbling like that, the breaking of the ankles, translates way better on film, because we've all seen horror movies where someone's getting something chopped off.
Yeah, and
it's kind of old news.
To Robert's credit,
but to have someone just and then you see her swipe at the other one like,
and Rob Reiner has a point with, like, it feels like too much is lost in a film,
right?
When the lead guy, like your protagonist, if you will, comes away with, but he's also lost a foot.
Totally get that, Yeah.
And then the biggest thing that is different in the book and the movie is definitely the very end. So when he burns his manuscript and shoves it down her throat.
Oh, which was awesome foreshadowing that I did not see coming.
Yeah.
Because it was double foreshadowing. The first one was the more obvious one, where she burns his book and then he does it. He gets his revenge there. Okay, that's foreshadowing. Yeah. But then the other foreshadowing was the subtle him working out with the typewriter, and he ends up using that to lift it up and bash her head.
Which is so King too, of just like the power of words.
Exactly.
And she hits
the pen is mightier.
Yeah, and then of course
the type is rightier.
He does have to eventually do the death blow with the doorstop.
Yeah,
but still, like there was like 2 or 3 death blows with that typewriter when he beats her with it, and then when she hits
it, I didn't like the fact that they had to do a jump scare at the end.
Yeah, and Rob Reiner's like, this is like the first time this has ever happened. You're about 10 years too late for it to already be a trope.
Like Chucky had like 7 of them 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Child's Play.
So in the book, he burns a fake like manuscript. It's not the real one. He switches it out. Yeah. So he's not burning the real one when he jams it down her throat. Beats her with a typewriter. He gets away. They have the big tussle and everything like that. He's saved, and then they say that they find her body out, like crawling into the barn, and she was going for a chainsaw to come back, and she ended up dying. Like she bled out. So
that's
like that's why they did the
sort of like the Shining
jump
too.
scare. Yeah, and that's why they did the jump scare in the movie, is because we want to see her die. In a book, it works differently.
Right.
You don't have to see it.
Right.
Right. So anyway, so he also then has, let's see here, I wrote this last part down. So in the book, he still has Misery Returns or whatever the book is. He still has that written, and he does publish that.
Oh, wow.
So like it's sort of like Stephen King being like, I can't not do, like, his own insecurities of like, this is what the fans want.
Yeah,
I have to put it out.
And even after going through all of that, he's still
now
like,
he does
guilt
say
stays with him or whatever.
It does say
affected
that
him that much.
He continues to have withdrawals from painkillers. He's become an alcoholic. And struggles with writer's block, and he can't. He refuses to write the nonfiction book. Like the publisher's like, that's what everybody wants. Is you to write about what happened to you, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But that's basically how the movie, the book ends. So it's pretty much the same, but a little different.
Sure. I mean, they did a fine job, buttoning it up for a movie. That was a great way it was a perfect way to end a movie, have it all come back to, I just want you to know I'm your number one fan. Yeah. And then it says, at the, and then blackout or fade to black, and then it's will return summer 1992, Misery 2, number 2 fan, or second number 2, number 1 fan, or whatever.
No, Misery 2, first edition.
Oh, but why was it be first edition?
I don't know, because that's something you say.
Oh, okay.
That was an alternate title for the book. When King was
Misery
writing
2
it. No,
first edition?
It was Annie Wilkes first edition or something like that. She was gonna, like, in the original thing, he was gonna die, and she was going to bind the book that he wrote with his skin. And Stephen King's like,
God.
you can't. He also ended up making it like 170 pages longer than he originally intended. And he goes, you can't make somebody read over like 150 pages and then kill the hero.
Right.
He's like, I'm not going to do that.
Well, at least he's considerate enough.
Yeah,
to rethink that one. So that was nice of him. Who was the guy that played the old man, the sheriff?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but let me pull that up. Was it Libby? Buster, right? No, he's the old guy.
Buster, yeah, the old
Buster in Virginia. Yeah, Richard Farnsworth.
Okay. I mean, he did a really good job. He was very endearing, and I was rooting for that old Galug, and then he died. That made me.
Yeah, it's kind of like the opposite.
Has he been in anything else?
Kind of the opposite of Fargo. Where where he's putting it together.
Yeah, and then he does, and then he dies anyway. Yeah. He hasn't been in anything else that I would know about.
That you would know about.
He did a really good job.
Well, he is dead.
Sure.
As of October 6th, 2000. So almost exactly 20 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Or over 20 years ago because
this will be out later.
Yeah.
And the Stros will have been
don't even
in the World Series by then.
The Two Jakes, that's a sequel to Chinatown. He was in that. Okay, so that you've seen. No,
I haven't seen Chinatown.
Yeah.
So we'll
nothing. Have you seen The Natural?
Nope.
Okay, he's in that too.
That's the one starring Mickey Mantle. No, it's about Mickey Mantle.
It's what's his name?
Wes Craven.
Yeah, Wes Craven.
I'm a master with those names.
No,
baby.
Robert Redford.
That's it.
Redford. Yeah, he did a lot of. This guy did a lot of westerns. It's a western.
Oh, that makes sense.
But yeah. So anyway, this. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about in this?
No.
One more big thing.
Give me no, I think I've covered the breadth of my notes. I will do this, though.
Wait, no, I have more that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay. Let's just make this all about you, okay, Chase? Wow.
Well, I just wanted to talk about so this book is a personal story to King because it's all about his battle with substance abuse.
Right.
And this whole book is based on. So Kathy Bates' character is a representation of dependency.
Yeah.
And how it makes you feel alone and separated but comforted, and it can turn on you in a second, and it hobbles any attempt that you have literally of like getting away from it. It keeps you like alone and just dependent on it for care. And so, like, that whole isolation, right. Just all of that, like, even when others try to come, it pushes them away, like the sheriff or anything like that. So, the whole idea of the Kathy Bates character, of the Annie Wilkes character,
is the monster of addiction.
Is the monster of addiction.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, very good.
So,
very good. And, metaphors, baby.
Yeah, it's.
I love me some metaphors.
If you watch it again with that in mind, you're like, shit, that fucking really plays through.
Yeah.
But and you can really tell it in the book too.
Yeah.
So
I love me some metaphors, but every now and then I wish that an author would give me some meta fives. Yeah.
Well, that's a meta 5-6 in my opinion.
I'm gonna
5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
All right. Well, what's
the warm up that we did in high school? Speaking of
which one? The Here We Are?
Yeah, that was it. That's awesome. No, I do have all jokes aside, that's great. I mean, Stephen King's a literary master. He's great. What can you say?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to. We can maybe do make this a new weekly segment. It's real quick. I'm gonna give. I realize I can look up some goofs. I could just point out a goof that was in the movie for people if they want to go watch it. Maybe they can notice the goof. This is from. Well, I'm not gonna say where it's from so that people don't see the goof before I do it. But here's a continuity goof.
Oh, my favorite. Here,
we'll do a little makeshift soundbite for. Goofs, 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 and more goofs. All right. So here's an embarrassing one. Continuity goof. Near the end, Paul pokes Annie in the eyes, and makes her bleed. But in the next shot, when she's on the floor, there's no blood under her eyes. Oh my God, that's embarrassing, folks. That is embarrassing. Rob Reiner, you will never be Hitchcock, my friend. Okay. And that was goofs, 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 and more goofs. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what about when Paul types, what else was there, ...
Well, there's only the goof segment is over.
And
if you want to do a goof, you got to tell me you want to do a goof.
It's all in one line in the close-up, but then when it pulls out, it's separate lines when he writes the end.
Okay, that's a pretty good goof.
Pretty good goof.
All right, now that's the end of goofs. Goofs, 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 and more goofs. All right, that's a good. That's a fun segment.
It's a great segment. I'm gonna have to figure out where you're getting those goofs, so I can always come up with a goof too.
Yeah, I was really impressed with your ability to pull up a goof. Okay,
I just noticed that watching it. I have a very keen eye. I don't know if you know this. I used to edit films, so I'm really good with continuity.
Oh, yeah. Well, if
I
only you could use some of that mastery on our videos, we'd get more views.
I do. Hey, the.
Dude, what if I started...
The fives of people that watch our videos.
Yeah. What if I started fanning out on ourselves and then went full misery on you? And I was like, how dare you have that take about, Stand By Me? And you know what I mean? It'd be like meta misery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about meta fives.
Meta 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go!
Hey. There we go. Chemistry.
I like that we both just
teach that, folks.
We both abandoned it right at the same time. We're like, we got the 10.
We knew where.
And no,
that's it. We knew where. That's chemistry. Can't teach that shit,
all right,
baby.
You ready for the box office numbers?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me your numbers. Give me your number, girl. What's your home number? The domestic. What's your international total number, girl? What's your opening weekend number, girl?
Budget.
Okay.
$20 million.
Okay.
What do you think?
Little low.
What do you think the opening weekend was in on the 2nd of December, 1990? Right towards the end of that year.
I can taste it. Chase. I can taste it, and I'm tasting a $20 million budget.
Yeah.
That must mean it was a pretty big hit, but it was more of an award season hit. December, not a big box office time. Opening weekend, I'm going to say $10.5 million.
Nope.
Shit.
Close.
I didn't.
Probably the closest you've been.
Okay.
You were off by about $424,000. So it was $10,076,000.
Oh.
So you were really close. You were really close.
Shit. I could taste it.
Yeah, you were really close.
Tight.
Probably the closest you've been, assuming you did not cheat on this one too.
I didn't actually. Honest to God.
All right. So I don't feel I couldn't find a.
If I did cheat, I would have said 10 million.
Yeah. So yeah, then you would have been.
I'm stupid like that. Yeah. But I am very smart.
I have the domestic gross, and I don't think it had a worldwide release. Like not. Big one at least. So,
yeah, sure.
So the only one that I have is the domestic gross for its theatrical run.
Okay. With the 10.5 about opening weekend.
10.1 about.
10.1 about opening weekend.
A budget of 20.
The budget of 20. I'm going to say it made its money back, but I'm going to say not by that much, but maybe by. I'm going to say it was a success. I'm going to say 35.7 million.
No.
Ooh.
61.
Whoa.
61.
That was a bigger hit than I gave it credit for.
Yeah. It was pretty big.
The return of the con man. That's what people were waiting for.
So then he could be in Las Vegas for however many years that show was on.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, that was one.
Was that a 90s show?
No, it was
like a spin-off of
no,
Dallas
it was like
or
2000,
something?
early 2000s.
Oh.
I think it was
they
one
were
of those
trying to
ones
do
that
like
was
a
like
CSI show or something?
yeah,
Oof.
but it was like running casinos or something. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Okay. Whatever. It's probably a pretty good paycheck.
I know that his son was in Ready to Rumble.
What's his son's name?
James Caan? No, Scott Caan.
Scott Caan.
He's James Caan. Yeah, Scott Caan. You know Scott
Where have I
Caan.
seen that guy? Yeah. That sounds so familiar.
Yeah. Well, you've seen Ready to Rumble with David Arquette.
Nope.
Oh, he's the other one.
Okay.
What else was Scott Caan on?
I'm sure I'll figure it out. What's the next segment?
The
rating.
Oh yeah, your rating. This is Scott Caan.
Put it on the screen. Oh yeah, I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
Oh
You know Scott.
Oh yeah,
Caan.
he's everywhere.
You know Scott Caan.
He's one of those guys. He's everywhere. Gets regular
I
work
mean, he's not everywhere, but yeah, he's done
on
stuff.
TV a lot. Yeah,
He's definitely James Caan's son.
I can see that. I can see that.
That's probably one of the reasons he got work. Oh, he was in the Ocean's movies, which you haven't seen.
Nope.
Yeah.
Got to do those. So the rating out of 10,
9, 8, 7, 6.
5. Oh, I went too far on that
Wait, what was the
one. Meta 5.
metaphor?
Yeah, meta 5, 6, 7, 8. So I gotta say, out of 10, what the hell was that?
That's my phone.
Out of 10, failed attempts at poisoning my captor, which that was a great scene too.
Yeah. Oh, man, the tension they built in this.
Yeah.
Such a good film. Such a good film.
Oh, so pissed off.
But how good is it?
She only knocked it over because of like something that he did, right?
Yeah,
like
like
it was because he because he told her to get the candle and the candle made her knock it.
Yeah.
So annoying.
She made an oopsie doopsie or something.
Yeah, right. Oh poo.
Oh fuck you. How about that?
Yeah, how about that, bitch? Oh yeah, when he gives her the fucking middle finger after she hobbles him, it's like finally stopped giving a fuck. And she's like, "Oh, you're such a jokester." Oh, that was.
I love how in this film, like he is very smart and she still manages to outdo it. Like he comes up with every fucking possible way he can to get out or to get noticed, and like he just fucking can't.
Yeah.
Like no matter how hard he tries, that's the addiction thing again.
Yeah.
It's like no matter how hard he tries, no matter how smart you think you are, you can't get out.
Yeah.
You cannot do it on your own.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. So out of 10 failed attempts at poisoning my captor, or what's the right word for that? When you're being kidnapped. Abductor? Well, she didn't really abduct him, but I'll just say captor.
Yeah,
whatever.
Captor. The one that keeps you captive is a captor, yeah.
I'm going to give it 9 failed attempts at poisoning my captor. 9, baby. 9 out of 10. Stone Cold Classic.
Wow, there you go. So,
classic
you know what you could say is the hobbling is a
classic moment, dude. And that Annie Wilkes is a piece of shit.
Yeah, you can definitely say that.
Oh yeah.
God, she's so fucking nuts, man. It's
Dude.
so.
They just do such a good job. Do such a good job.
I will say Lizzie Kaplan played her in Castle Rock, but it was like sort of the same thing, different kind of whatever. Not bad. She did good. Like she's fine. It was just a little too much acting in it. Like it was.
Gotcha.
She does a weird thing with her voice.
Didn't have the subtlety
crazy.
right.
Yeah, and like the thing she's like, listen to how crazy this person is. And you're like, I can't. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
where's your director to be honest when they need to be?
Yeah.
That's what Miss Smith was always great about.
Yeah.
She'd give it to you straight.
didn't beat around the bush.
Nope.
Lower your pitch.
Yeah. what was always the word that we would say it?
Oh, get. Because.
Yeah.
Which
because?
I still say on this show specifically. I say because a lot.
Right.
Because of that.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but get, because.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess.
Right.
It was,
I don't know.
That's one of them.
Getting because we're big
fur.
ones. Fur. Yeah. Those were big ones.
Yeah. I still wince when I hear like keys jingle. It's like, oh shit!
Well, that's because you knew that she was on her way to, she was leaving, and you didn't want her to.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, so worth it or worse shit? That's the big
For
thing.
me?
Obviously,
I gotta
9.
give it. Come on, worth it.
I mean, I do too. Obviously, this is a fantastic piece of cinema. It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
From the acting, the cinematography is great. Reiner is a great director.
Yeah, but I gotta say, never be Hitchcock, but did great.
Yeah,
Nonetheless,
he's no Hitchcock.
No Hitchcock, but
He
I'm
should
just kidding.
fucking learn his
He did
goddamn
great.
lesson.
He did absolutely great. And if anything,
I don't care if Carl's dead. He needs to hear it.
I think that's. I think it's one that if Hitchcock were alive to see, he probably would have enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good. There's nothing about it that doesn't hold up.
Right.
You know, like
Absolutely.
there's nothing that feels off or
Absolutely.
goofy or dated. You know.
Mm-mm. Oh, and I will say, shout outs to my big sis. I was talking to her just before I started watching this movie.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go soon. I got to start watching this movie for the podcast. And she said, what movie are you doing? I said, Misery. And she goes, oh. She, like, had this,
full body.
Yeah, full body reaction. I was like, oh, I saw that when I was a kid, and it scarred me for life. I will never watch it again. She was like, I can't believe you're watching that. Good luck to you. And I And oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, it's
she's not wrong.
Rough.
She's not
it's
wrong.
so good. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So obviously it's definitely worth it for me. So that leads us to everyone's last and favorite. Everyone's last and favorite.
It is their last
segment. Yeah.
The
Reboot Recast.
All right. So before we get into the reboot recast, I'm just going to go down a quick list here that I found of people who were up for
Give it to me.
Paul Sheldon.
Give it to me, baby.
And
Rick James.
All eventually passed before it finally went to Caan. That is Warren Beatty, like I said.
Yeah. I heard
Robert
that
De
one.
Niro, Michael Douglas, Richard
Wow.
Dreyfuss, Harrison Ford.
Richard Dreyfuss would have been really into, but he had just done Stand By
Yeah.
Me.
Harrison Ford, Morgan Freeman. Yeah, that's Richard Dreyfuss really wanted to do it
Oh,
because he worked with Rob and he wanted to like work on screen more, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, Mel Gibson, Gene
Ooh.
Hackman, Dustin Hoffman, William Hurt passed
Wow.
twice.
Wow.
Kevin Kline, Al Pacino, Robert Redford, Denzel Washington, and Bruce Willis, who eventually played the role on Broadway in 2015. But yeah, they all passed. And it went to
Why did they
James
pass?
Caan. A lot of it was just like they
being
didn't
in
wanna
bed
be
like that.
the whole time.
Yeah.
They didn't see it
Enough
coming.
potential.
And it's such a reactionary character. It's not.
De Niro would have been so good at that.
I mean, it's weird to think about not wanting to do this movie after you've seen it.
Yeah,
I know. It's all there for an actor.
And to be fair, that's a testament to how good of a job Caan did.
But just imagine reading the script and being like, I don't know,
right?
And then also the female lead was an unknown, more or less.
Right. So you're thinking
Rob Reiner is now directing this horror film or this thriller. And he's the guy that did Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Or Spinal Tap. I don't know.
Spinal Tap. Yeah.
I don't know. So
Right.
that it makes sense that people would be like, I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket.
Right.
But yeah, it's so good. And Stephen King, still was not. A lot of his movies had been turned. A couple of his movies have been turned into. Or a couple of his books have been turned into movies, but like not all of them were hits. Yeah,
exactly.
It's still
right. It wasn't a guaranteed knockout.
Yeah.
Has there been a remake of this?
No.
So this will be a fresh
play and
rare fresh
and obviously
reboot recast.
Like I said, they had the character on the other one.
Okay.
So I got mine.
We'll
just do Paul and Annie.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I am I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm all in.
I think I know who your Annie's going to be.
I don't think you do.
Okay, we'll see. Well, I think I know who mine is, and I'm thinking it's going to be.
Are we starting with Annie, or are we starting with Paul?
We'll start with Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, Annie's the big one here. So let's start with Paul.
Paul needs to be,
And you're dead
50s,
set on your
60s. I'm pretty dead set. I mean, I could be convinced. I just think that it knocks it out of the park on this. It's the right time. I think the person's good enough. I think they have, they definitely have the chops. It's I like what I got.
Okay. Well, I'm going to throw one out there, and then you see if you like it better.
All right.
And I just
if you throw out some like 35-year-old,
no, you're gonna like it. You're gonna,
right.
it's gonna fit in your fucking ageism. Your
it's not
rampant
ageism. It's casting.
It's gonna fit into your rampant ageism. Okay. And this just popped up here. I'm just doing this off the cuff as I always do. Everyone knows, but I really like this. The more that I think about it, Vincent D'Onofrio.
That's actually not bad.
Right.
He's just
he might have to lose a couple pounds.
Well, I mean, even my guy would have to lose some weight,
Okay.
or maybe not. He could be overweight. It doesn't matter.
Fuck it.
But the only thing with Vincent D'Onofrio is he's just not quite a big enough name. Like he never really popped.
Well, but James
But he did
Caan,
have that. He did have that. Yeah, I mean that's true. But he did just come back with the what do you call it? Daredevil.
Ratchet.
Oh, is he on Ratchet?
Yeah, he's on it.
Oh,
not many.
Yeah, I have not checked that one out. But
really.
Honestly, he's a great actor. That's not a terrible thing. I was going for a bigger name, and I went with.
You're not gonna say Leo, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, that's totally wrong.
Good.
Russell Crowe.
Ooh.
That's really
like
good.
it's
right there.
It's right there.
It feels perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, and he needs a comeback.
Yeah.
He hasn't been around for a while.
Well, he just had that movie Unhinged that did really well because it was the only movie in theaters.
Yeah.
It didn't do real well, but it did,
better than it probably would have.
Better than it would have, yeah. If it had any competition. Although it does look like a pretty interesting movie. And he's just fucking great. Like he really is good. I love Russell Crowe.
He's good. I got no problems with Crowe.
So that's
I'll go with that.
Now Annie, she needs to be a little younger. Not much over like 40.
Okay.
And I was thinking,
think I know who you're.
I was thinking somebody meeker. That also. But it's all about the chops. Yeah. So somebody that's not like you don't want like a Margot Robbie or somebody that's like beautiful. It has to be somebody that could be made up right to where you're not. They are forgettable looking,
right.
like they did with Kathy Bates, who is beautiful in her own way and everything like that. But like the way they make her up, she is very plain.
Okay.
And like without making it look like they're trying to make her look plain.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was kind of one of the reasons with Lizzie Kaplan was like, you don't really look. She doesn't really look plain as much as she just doesn't look like they're making her beautiful or something.
Gotcha.
So I have one. Do you want me to go first?
So you want no ugly makeup like Charlize Theron in Monster?
I want it to be just very normalized, like somebody. So it'll make sense when I give you mine.
All right. Well, let me give you mine and see if you like it. I think you'll like it. But I could
be convinced because I'm not crazy about the actual person I'm saying. I'm tired of them.
Okay.
But they are good. I gotta give it to them.
Okay.
So
Well, I think you're gonna like my person, but you're going to be annoyed because I use them all the time, and it's going to be Julia Garner.
I fucking knew that you were going to say that, and that is 100% wrong.
No,
you cannot be more wrong.
That you just said.
Way too young. Way too young.
She's
way too small.
She's like almost 30.
No, that's too young.
You said frail.
I said 40. First of all,
you said less than 40.
I said like 40, not less.
Kathy
than
Bates wasn't near 40.
It doesn't matter.
Like 25
you're wrong.
in this.
No, she wasn't. And she was born in 48.
Who? Kathy Bates or Annie Wilcox? Or
Kathy
Wilkes?
Bates. In fact, Annie Wilcox is kind of supposed to be older because Kathy Bates would not have been around.
Right, let me do my math.
In the time that
1990.
It's 42.
26. So okay, fine. Maybe she's a little young, but she's everything else
way
that
too
you
young,
fucking said.
way too small.
All right, well, then you give me.
You got to be hauling Russell Crowe around, like being able to, like she's got to look like she could
see
be corn fed or something. Like she's got to have a little stock to her.
Women are stronger than you think.
Not a woman that weighs maybe 25 pounds soaking wet.
Sexist now. Okay.
It's not. It's. Oh my God.
All right. Who do you got then? Come on.
Elizabeth Moss.
Why am I blanking on who the
Peggy
fuck that is?
Olsen from Mad Men.
Oh,
The
that
Handmaid's
is
Tale.
good.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's perfect.
Yeah, it really is. I'm mad.
Oh, she would do it too.
And
She would do it
mad,
really good.
I know, and I'm mad at how perfect it is because I'm
Yeah.
like fucking so tired of her. But God,
Yeah,
she's good, man.
She's really good.
I just get that. I guess it's the Scientology air I get off of her.
Well,
where I'm
she
just
can do that
no.
like mad face.
Yeah, and
subtlety. She can
I'm
face
sure
act
she can
really well.
Flip, too.
Yeah.
And she has the ability. We've seen her, Peggy Olsen, sweet as could be,
Right.
as well. Especially
Yeah.
through the development.
Oh, that's
But, like,
really good.
and like
That nails it.
and like that ability to like that look I'm talking about.
nails
Come on, Chaz.
That look I'm talking about of being able to be plain,
Right, sure,
and like
sure.
kind of forget,
but
it's
still,
just-
beautiful and all that.
I gotta hand that one to my wife. She's the one who came up with that one, and I was like, God damn, you're
I
right.
see. Cheating,
You're right.
huh? Okay, you steal.
I
stealing
threw it out there.
signs,
I threw it out there. I
Chase.
said
Real
somebody
nice.
like this, and she goes, "No, that's
Always,
it. That's it."
like a real Houstonian stealing signs over here.
Wow,
Wow.
wow.
I'm just kidding.
Well, no, you're not kidding.
I'm not kidding. But guess what? They all do it. So
They all
get
do it.
over it.
Yeah. So, that I think we agree on that.
Yeah, we do. My people, we
No.
agree. The ones that I said.
No,
Well, you
I
would do
do.
those.
I do think that
No, those are
Vincent
good. That's
D'Onofrio
perfect.
is not a bad choice. I just think that especially if you're going,
Well, Crow's a bigger name.
Yeah.
Crow's more set up for the comeback.
yeah,
It's a similar
exactly. It just
situation.
works.
And he's also really good.
Yeah, and
You
I mean,
can't-
D'Onofrio is great too. But again,
D'Onofrio's
he's just
great,
not. He's not box office yet,
No,
and he could
He's
have
not.
he could have a nice little comeback though. Who knows?
good. Yeah,
So,
I like it. But I can't believe I didn't think of Elizabeth Moss. That's
yeah,
perfect.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I would have thought of her if she was in the fucking top 100, son of a bitch.
You gotta quit looking at that.
I mean,
You need to like start just
it's a good
knowing who
starting
actors
point.
are.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah,
To get the brain
Except
jogging.
it always comes out of the same people.
Well, Okay, well, that'll do it.
Yeah, the next thing you'll do.
Nomin-
Wait,
no.
the next thing you'll do is you'll do that thing. I've tried to do it before. It's like because I'm talking about their age. Like that is an important part of it. How old they are, how old they look.
Yes. You've explained
But
it.
when you type in
It's
like
fine.
actors in their 30s, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio. You're like, what the fuck, IMDb? No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it has to do with like
I don't go that.
the lists are made and then they just keep them.
Yeah.
So like it was like 20 years ago, somebody made a list of
Right.
30-year-old actors, and now they're all in their
Right,
60s.
Right.
So, all right. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, and sadly, because there's only 4 weeks of October this year.
Sadly, I'm relieved to stop pooping and peeing my pants from being scared
I
all
love
the time.
it. I love pooping and peeing, and anything that makes me do it is all right with me.
Oh, okay.
That is a meta 4, 5, 6. Numb in space.